public libraries are considering how readers can still get their hands on books without stepping inside the library. The city's libraries have been shut down since mid-March and won't reopen until Phase 4. But according to a new article from the city, the New York Public Library is considering a grab-and-go service. Let's bring in the author of that article, Reuven Blau. He is a senior reporter at the city, a digital news platform. Welcome, Reuven. Great to have you with us. Libraries are often a place of refuge. So how has the shutdown of libraries impacted vulnerable populations and communities, for instance, the homeless?
It's been incredibly tough. Like homeless people frequently go there to just, wash up and spend some time reading and relaxing. It's been very, very difficult. And people who don't have internet or high-speed internet, sometimes will just go there to get on the line and to use the Wi-Fi as well, aside from just the books to read.
Right. And what kind of digital resources, then, are libraries spending some of their budgets on now?
So there's been a big push recently to up the budgets to purchase more ebooks. In New York City, there's 3 library systems. There's one that covers Brooklyn, one that covers Manhattan and the Bronx, and there's one also in Queens. And every one of those systems has gone out of their way to purchase more ebooks and more e-material because they've seen that since the shutdown, there's been a huge demand for this material. And based on new people coming in to pick up digital library cards and to get this material while they're kind of get closed in as the actual branches are shut down.
I hope this doesn't mean that we see somewhere in the future, though, the death of the brick and mortar library, because it is such an anchor in so many communities.
Absolutely. I mean, I personally, I love, holding a book in my hands and reading it. Just the smell of a new book, it's incredible, or used. So the library officials all said, look, this is a change in pattern, and we're going with what we have right now, which is we're closed. We want to help our customers as much as possible. So we're completely changing the budgets around to make them almost exclusively ebooks. But they've said we're going to adjust when things open. We're going to see. It's unclear whether or not this is going to be a trend for the future. For a long time there was a talk that this would be the future, right? That they'd only be ebooks, that they would take off, and this has gone on for over a decade. Since the launch of ebooks. But there's been a real restriction in using them. Libraries can only typically license them. They don't actually purchase them. They license them for about 2 years, and then that's it. And it goes away. And typically books last longer than that, and also the ebooks are more expensive. So there's also been a call for libraries to sort of gang up and power together to try to change the licensing agreements they have on these ebooks material. But it's really unclear whether or not this is going to be a trend in the future, whether or not this is how it's going to change permanently. It depends who you talk to. Everyone's really curious to see, once the physical branches open, whether or not this is going to be the future of how things are, and that it's going to go more towards ebooks. Some library officials have told me, look, we're definitely going to continue buying more ebooks, but we also have to really be aware that there's a lot of people who still don't read that way, and we still think that there's going to be a need for the actual hardcover books.
I hope so. I mean, I love to surround myself with books. Just seeing them is a comfort. So I hope that the actual book is still around and with us for many, many generations to come. Reuven Blau, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.